Welcome back to Rage Against the Regime. I'm your host, Becky Williams. I have a few things on my mind tonight that I feel need to be addressed. In lieu of the most recent murders by foreign invaders who have come into this country, because our federal government, our DHS, and the Mexican federal government and their military opened our border up without any resistance being allowed by Border Patrol or state, local authorities concerning the border of Mexico into the United States from California to Texas. Last Wednesday, we had a young lady, 33 years of age, who was killed by an illegal immigrant, they say. I call him a foreign invader. He murdered her with a weapon that belonged to a federal agent. He shot this woman and he took her life. He had been deported 5 times. He had 7 felony accounts against him, some of which were possession of heroin. He's claiming it was an accident, that the gun went off. That is not the case. San Francisco is a sanctuary city, and many states across this country are now sanctuary states that will not allow the deportation or penalize them for coming back in. Should they have been deported in the past. They've been deported several times. There was another murder. A young woman and her son were murdered in Laredo, Texas, by a foreign invader. Their bodies were set on fire. We see this going on across this nation. But I'm in Texas, and I have a real issue with what's going on in Texas. I have an issue with what's going on across America. You people know I fight every day. I'm an advocate for stomping the teeth of the mule that keeps kicking America. I am fed up. I'm fed up. I just saw another article that I'm going to be covering as well concerning the Texas Guard being deployed overseas. Wow, this couldn't come at a worse time. Obama is absolutely shrinking our military and has been since he stepped into office. He's purged the heads of departments and branches. He's allowed Muslims in our military. Actually, I don't believe that they should be able to serve in our military. If they're Muslim, they embrace the Quran. We don't need to put a weapon in their hand, nor do we need to train them up in warfare. Free ride to training, you know. We saw Bergdahl defect. We saw Obama give 5 of the most notorious murdering Muslim scum terrorists out of Guantanamo Bay in exchange, along with $50 million. $50 million he paid to the terrorists, and then gave them back 5 of their leaders for a deserter, who is now, by the way, being charged with desertion. We've got so much going on, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around why the hell people won't stand up. Why won't you stand up? Why won't you take your right as a human being to thrive, prosper, and to live in a safe nation? And why won't you remove this maggot that has usurped this country and his band of thieves and thugs called Congress? It's an illegal body anyway. They have no place here. They're not above the law, yet they are lawless, and it's costing us lives every day. North Carolina, every month, has reported over 400 rapes on women and children. 400 a month. That's the average. I think their high month was like 580 or something like that. This is insanity. That's one state. Texas is probably one of the most populated states with foreign invaders that have come through that border from many other countries. But these wetbacks, and I call them that because they came in illegally. See, we have the Rio Grande, and it separates us. And that's why we reference the foreign invaders as wetbacks. I said it. I don't care who I made angry. I mean what I'm saying. We have some serious issues here that we need to cover. One, I'm not good with Texas being a sanctuary state. I'm not good with them turning criminals out on the streets simply because they're a foreign invader and not prosecuting and deporting them accordingly. It's a more heinous crime, in my opinion, for a foreign invader to come into my state, into this country, and commit crimes. These people have poured through here. Listen, everything I do as an American, as a Texan, is looked at under a microscope. From a job application to a credit card, a bank account, a driver's license, voter's registration, the purchasing of a home, any loan documents, to get into college, everything is gone over with a fine-tooth comb. Now, it's offensive to me, and I believe I'm being discriminated against, when foreign invaders can come over here and reap everything, literally, for free or next to nothing. When we have homeless people on our streets that are American citizens that this government won't help, we've got a problem. When they're bringing in millions of refugees every year, not hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands like they lie to you and tell you. Hell, it doesn't take a genius to look around at your surroundings and you tell me what it looks like now in terms of minority. Minority is anybody but a white man. That's what they call minority. Anybody that's not white. Now, I want you to tell me you are not outnumbered and actually the minority in this country. And we are targets right now. There is a La Raza movement, a criminal movement, gangs, drug cartels, city officials, law enforcement, landowners that have been bought off by the drug cartels, murdered by the drug cartels. They're in my nation. They're in my state. And I'm not good with a baby and its mother being murdered by a foreign invader and then dumped and their bodies set on fire in my country. This is a stand your ground country. I had a very interesting conversation with an Egyptian piece of shit on the Texas Tea Party page the other day, who informed me not only is he not a citizen, but he will be voting in this election, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it. He mocked me and laughed at me. He thought it was funny. Well, in fact, it's a felony to do that. I looked it up. So he informed me that I had no right to stop him, nor did anybody else, that the Supreme Court had made a ruling. At which point I went back and I pulled the information. The reference was actually to the state of Arizona. But this Muslim piece of shit on a Texas Tea Party page mocked me. It's what they do. They come over here and they mock us. They're laughing in your face while they get free money for free business, use their EBT cards to buy food and groceries and or food and clothes and alcohol and wear their Nikes and sport their free $500 iPhone that you're paying for. Living in shelter, a house, sometimes a very nice house, has been rented out as Section 8. Their kids are going to school and getting their lunches free. They're getting their school supplies free. Meanwhile, American families are struggling. They're making just above what would be considered the amount for assistance, living below the poverty line or at a level of income that would allow them some type of assistance. They're just above that mark, or they're right at that mark. And these people are coming over here, and the Muslims and the wetbacks and the Nigerian spear chunkers and Somalian spear chunkers and out of the Africas where there's a real white genocide going on today. In fact, whites are being murdered right now while I'm doing this show in Africa simply because they're white. They're being raped, set on fire, beaten, tortured, their property taken, and the police will not even arrest the intruder or the perp. Period. It's a true story. But let's get back to Texas, because we've got to save Texas, people. We really have to do something here in Texas. Oh, where do I start? Let's start with the open border. I'm watching this bullshit that O'Reilly and some other asswipe out of Washington is trying to blow up the population's butt, saying that the Mexican government has cracked down on the border and they've got 5,000 agents or enforcement officers on the other side of the border that is working to stop the influx into America, into Texas, California, New Mexico, and Arizona. I know on Texas side of the border we have 1,200 miles. I don't think so. And I believe that's a lie anyway. If there's any militia individuals out there that you want to talk to, they'll tell you that's a lie. Nothing is being done on this border. It's wide open. They're trying to, O'Reilly was trying to say 18 months ago they sealed the border. Bullshit. Bullshit, O'Reilly. O'Reilly, I'm going to call you the liar that you are. You are full of it. You're a piece of shit, buddy. You're up there blowing smoke and trying to give a false sense of security to Americans about the border issue. It's bullshit. We see more lives lost to foreign invaders in this country every friggin' year than we lost in a 12-year Iraqi war. Let that resonate. Now watch them interview people. Liberal pieces of shit. Look, I'm watching right now with the silent screen another illegal immigrant charged with the murder of a young man. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. They're all criminals if they're here. If I commit a misdemeanor, I go to jail. They're spewing, well, it's just a misdemeanor charge if you're here illegally. No, actually, it's beyond a misdemeanor charge at this point. Because according to Judge Reed and the law, it is actually an act of war the minute one of them who have come in here uninvited, a foreign invader armed and takes a life, that's a declaration of war from the country he came from. We are at war, people. We are at war, not only with our government, but with these foreign bastards that are in our state. We have got to do something. You're going to have to forgive my language tonight. I am angry, and that's how I vent. It's where I come from, and I apologize to no one for that. You're just going to have to forgive it. Every illegal in this state should be rounded up and deported. This should not be a sanctuary state. And for folks who are hearing this out there that can help me get this done, we need to make sure that we go to our legislators and we go to our governor and we show the discontent and we demand that that be removed. Sanctuary, my ass. I have no sanctuary. I'm not even safe in my own home anymore. Where the frig is my sanctuary? You bastards. You're making decisions that are costing people's lives up here in Texas and across this nation. You're allowing some bastard that's making far more money than you are, that you elected to represent you, who has bodyguards and security and all the luxuries in life that they're friggin' taking from you and me. And they're making a decision to let these bastards come into this country and do what they're doing and take your prosperity and infect your children with a brainwashing mentality that they should submit and allow this to be taken from them. This is our state. I was born in this damn place. And I'm tired of seeing it go to hell. And you should be pissed off too. You should be so angry you're spitting nails. I know, there's a bunch of you out there going, oh my God, she's a lunatic and a half-cocked nut. No, I'm not. I'm fed up. I'm a human being. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a damn advocate. I put more hours into this than most people, and I still function. I still run a business. I still take care of a household. But by God, I'm tired of this shit. I want my state back. And I don't want to hear you idiots out there talking about melting pot. It's a melting pot. America was founded on immigration. Immigration, yes. Legal immigration is not a problem, and I don't have an issue with it. They should have to pay to come into my country, not get paid to come into my country illegally. Into my state. They should have to pay. They should have to have a dowry with a set amount. If there's two people in a family, $50,000 US. You know why? That assures you that those people are not going to commit crimes when they come in because they can't thrive. Because they come here with nothing. It assures you that they're not going to be a strain on this system. It assures you they'll be able to pay the rent and feed them. Feed their own family. Pay their own bills. Find a job and be a productive member of society. But this government has let them come in here and take your fucking jobs. Take your prosperity. Special programs for their kids to go to college while you can't afford your own children's college fees. Especially if you're white. You're white, you're screwed. Your kid is the last one to get picked. Affirmative action took care of that shit. Your kid's less likely to get a grant. I'm tired. We've got to save the state. We no longer need to ask to secede. These bastards work for us. We have let them dictate and rule over us and change laws and implement laws to bind the hands of society, to instill fear in the hearts of Americans, in the hearts of Texans, and we let them drag us along on a friggin' dog chain behind a diesel truck going 90 miles an hour. And when we get up with no skin left on our bones, we tell them thank you. What the hell is that? I get out every week and I feed somebody that's hungry. Monday, I fed homeless veterans. And I didn't just feed them. I sit down and I talk to them. I pull money out of my pocket and feed them. Because it's the right thing to do. Because I have more than them, I'm blessed. But it instills and builds anger inside of me that is unimaginable. Because I'm having to take care of homeless Americans and veterans and these wetback pieces of shit and this Muslim scum that is in this country and these Nigerians and Somalians and Africans that have come over here take our prosperity. They walk into the SBA and get free money to start a business while I'm out here busting my ass to make my bills. And so are millions of Americans. 50% of this country is unemployed. And the largest part of that 50% are American citizens. You heard me. American citizens. We have 1/4 of the entire population of Mexico that has come across that damn border. It's costing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year, and even that figure is most likely a lie. This puke, O'Reilly, on Fox News, just tried to blow some smoke up our asses. 75,000 children, unaccompanied minors, came across in that invasion. He's a lying sack of shit. I ran for governor of Texas, O'Reilly. I had a military council, O'Reilly. National Guard, active duty. State Guard, active duty. Army, active duty. But most importantly, Border Patrol, active duty. Militia brothers and sisters I was in close contact with that were down there on that border. Less than 3% of the wetback, foreign invading pieces of shit that flooded into this country with disease and crime and drugs and gangs and all the shit that they brought in with them. Criminals, rapists, pedophiles, murderers. Everything they brought in. That's a lie. 75,000 children did not come through that border. It was a minute number of children. The majority of the people that came through that border were from the ages of 18 to 35. I know this to be first-hand truth because my Border Patrol kept me informed. My militia kept me informed. And he's going to sit up here and lie. O'Reilly, shame on you. You lying piece of shit. I'm angry, people. I'm tired. I know I'm cussing like a sailor. I really want to break something. I'm that angry. And you've got people out here, these city councilmen and these mayors who've been given all this damn power over their cities, and they won't even answer the questions of an investigative reporter questioning them about the murder and the laws that they put in place to become a sanctuary city. They got nothing. Her life meant nothing to them. Your children's lives mean nothing to them. Your life means nothing to them. It means nothing to this so-called federal government. That's not a federal government. It's a band of thieves and thugs. It's a foreign body. During the Civil War, Congress abandoned its post, never to reconvene. That means we don't have a government that's legal standing up there in Washington. That's why they created the District of Columbia. It's their fortress. It's where the bastards hide while they dictate over you. Steal your peace. Make laws to shut you up. Extort from you. And now allow an invasion on you. And if that's not enough, what they'll do is they'll erase history. They'll erase history. They're doing it. It's a tool of war. They go in, they remove the artifacts, they remove everything in the books, the school books. They remove the flags. That's why they're attacking the Confederate flag. They've used the same lie for 250 centuries to use our black brothers and sisters to death. Literally. The most violent race in the country. Killing each other at a record number. But wait a minute, they're not up in the streets raising hell about that, are they? I guess it's okay if you kill each other. You ignorant bastards. They're too ignorant to be educated. They drop out of school. Have children out of wedlock like nobody's business. They have more abortions than any other race in the country monthly. And our government has pitted them against the whites. You know, they've used this Confederate flag and this lie. You know, they painted Lincoln as some kind of friggin' hero. Do you know why there's a big statue of him sitting in a friggin' chair at the Lincoln Monument? You know why? Because he's a goddamn dictator. He called martial law. The lying bastard lied about why he wanted to fight the damn war to begin with. It was about tariff, taxation, oppression on the South from the North. They wanted to rule over the South. The South rose up. Lincoln was losing. He needed more money for the war. He appealed to his party and to England to get more money for the war. And he came up with this brilliant idea after this little meeting. We need more troops. Let's use abolishment of slavery so that we can enlist more men so that we can conquer the South because we're losing this battle. That's the truth. More people in the North were slave owners than the South. More whites were slaves than blacks. There were more black slave owners than whites. At the commencement of the Civil War, only 95% of the population, I'm saying only, 95% of the Southern population had no slaves. Only 5%. So I corrected that. 5% of the South were slave owners. And a very big part of those were black slave owners. The first court case. First documented court case of anybody being able to legally enslave another human being, which, by the way, was against the law of nations, was actually a black man over another black man. An indentured servant went to court, couldn't get released from his 7-year contract of labor. He won the first court. The landowner was pissed, another black man, so he takes him to a higher court. The judge says, all right, you can have him forever, basically. So it was an infinite contract with no end that he had to work for this man for nothing and that he could never leave the plantation, else he would be prosecuted. What the hell? But you got all these little dumbass Negroes running and jumping up like friggin' bands of monkeys, uneducated, ignorant, calling for the death of Whitey. Screw you, Shabazz. It's for the Black Panthers. Hey, Shabazz, you want to kill all the white people? Come on over to my house, buddy. Start with me. Because I'd like to wipe you off the face of the earth, you piece of shit. You're part of the problem, you hate monger. Bring your bad ass to my house. Come by yourself if you think you can. So here we go. So now the blacks, and not all of them, because I'm going to tell you right now I have mixed families, so don't even go off on that. Well, she's a prejudiced bitch. And my daughters have Spanish, so shut up. I'm not prejudiced. I'm speaking truth. You come into this country legally. You come in with a dowry. You come through that gate. Let us check your background. See what you can bring to this country. What can you bring to my country? You know, you don't just get in because you want to come in. You looking for sanctuary? Bitch, fix your own country. I got enough problems here in mine. I don't need you coming here for refuge and taking everything from me. That's not refuge. That's a full-on assault of my prosperity and my well-being. That's not refuge. That's an attack on me as an American citizen. You're taking away from me. There's supposed to be a limit on how many people can come from every country into another country. It's a set limit. But they have opened the door and the gateway to hell. These, not just this government, but the one before it and the one before it. And let me correct that again. They're not government. They're a bunch of criminal, murdering bastards, racketeers up there. That's who they are. That's who they are. Period. I don't give a damn if they like what I'm saying, because I'm speaking the truth and they know it. So they want to shut me up. I don't care. I do not care. Kicking, fighting, screaming all the way to heaven, bitches. I'm tired. And that's not for the people. That's for the people up there in Washington, if you could call them that. The belly crawlers. The slimes. Scum. Absolute criminal, greedy, filthy, nasty, foreign element. And you're allowing them to destroy this country, and you are not giving the least bit of real resistance. Let me get back to where I was, because, man, it just all bends me backwards, and I can't stand it. I just go off. I do these, let me explain something. I do these shows unscripted. Everything I do is unscripted. Usually it's because something has punched my button. If you hear me on Spreaker like this, it's because something has just tweaked me too far to the left. I've come across information, or I'm in a little research, or I'm watching the news, and I'm listening to all this bullshit that the mainstream media blows up everybody's ass. They couldn't tell the truth if their mother was on a stake in front of them, getting ready to set her on fire. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. These bastards on the news, they wouldn't do it. They won't tell you the truth. They tell you what the government wants them to tell you so that you can still be controlled. Oh, we don't have to worry about they're still on the border. I can give up on that one now. Don't listen to it. Oh, we don't have a problem. These people are poor. They were seeking refuge. Don't listen to it. Listen, they've been brought in here to be foot soldiers to destroy America. La Raza and the Mexican movement, and these little wetback bastards and these little gangs that are here, some of the most notoriously deadly gangs in South America and in Mexico have now set up house in this country. And they're running drugs for the drug cartel, and they're killing our people, Americans. They're killing us. And if they're not killing us by shooting us or cutting our throat or whatever it is that they're doing, they're killing us because they're feeding drugs to your children and your grandchildren. How do you feel about that? How the hell do you feel about that? You really going to sit there and take that kind of assault? We are the largest standing army in the entire friggin' world, and I keep hearing you talk about how badass you are, and you won't stand up, you won't take direction, you refuse to fall under a leadership, you couldn't organize for a booger pick. For the most part. You know who I'm talking to out there. I'm not talking to all of you, but I'm talking to a very large majority of you. You couldn't organize the removal of a blackhead. That's how pathetic you are. Largest standing army in the entire friggin' world. Ain't nobody afraid of us. You know why? Because we're a bunch of pussies. They can't do anything but sit on a computer and talk about how badass, and don't you even try it. Better not. They come in my neighborhood and do that, they're going to leave in a box. They come up in here acting stupid. I'll handle my shit. I got weapons. Oh, shut up. The only time you're going to react is if it's actually at your front door, you stupid. How about we prevent it from getting to that point by removing the cancer? Jesus Christ, people, we've got to save Texas. I can't save the country. I can't save the world. Hell, I probably won't even be able to save Texas because we can't get our collective shit together as Texans and stop being broken off into branches because we have some kind of internal conflict. And now all of a sudden we got, TNMs over here as Texas Freedoms over here, and then God knows what else is over here, and, some Reliance group is over here, and you all have the same objective, but you can't work together. There's always some kind of a compromised lack of morals. Somebody's position is always compromised. You know what it reminds me of? A really bad Three Stooges movie. you know? Running around with your damn heads cut off, bumping into each other. Smack, smack. That's what it's like. I have never been in a frame of mind that I wanted to leave a place so bad. There's nowhere for me to go for sanctuary. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here because of all the countries in the world, in this cesspool of shit that we're in the best cesspool of shit that there is. Of all the corruption, blacks calling for the death of whites, blacks running lawless, giving a go because they're assassinating cops and the government's paying for their protest. And Al Sharpton, little criminal bastard, you little bastard, Al Sharpton, you little piece of shit. Devil's minion, criminal. They're all out here getting them up in arms. Man, I'm going to tell you something right now. White America did that, all hell would break loose. Every one of us would be in jail. Not only would we be in jail, we'd never see daylight again. If there was a white Al Sharpton and a white Jesse Jackson and a white Shabazz, they would be in jail or dead. That's right. I will not sit back and watch this without shouting at the top of my lungs to the day I take my last breath. I will continue to fight. I get so irritated and aggravated with society. At this point, I'm more aggravated with the patriots than I am with these thugs up in Washington. You know why? Because you just don't give a shit enough to stand up together collectively. You're waiting for somebody to save you. Nobody's coming to save us. This is a train wreck that nobody is going to come and dig you out of. The twisted metal that's wrapped around us is not, there's no jaws of life. It's not there. Our military's been purged. Those assholes that are running the Pentagon up there, they're crooked little thieving, nasty evildoers themselves, being controlled by the mob, by UNESCO, the UN. We've got to save Texas. We've got to save it. We've got to save it. I don't care what we have to do. We have to save Texas. I need some people to get together, and you're going to have somebody else be the speaker, because at this point in my life, I just cannot curb my tongue. I can't. I cannot, out of fatigue, out of frustration, 4 years of endless hours, endless research, trying to awaken the people, helping people. My God, people, I just, my deliverance, there's no more etiquette. There's nothing. There's no decorum left in me. Nothing. What I have is a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of worry. I need some people in Texas to get your act together. Some intelligent, strong, educated leaders. And we have got to get into the fortress, the capital, and we've got to be heard. And we have to demand to secede Texas. And we have to demand that we're not a sanctuary state, nor are there sanctuary cities in this state. We have to demand that every illegal lose every benefit effective immediately. Cut them off. Makes it easier to identify them. And then start picking them up with our military in buses and taking them right back to that border and kicking them out the fucking door. Get out. I catch you back in here. You try to cross over, we'll shoot you. You come in legally or you don't come at all. Take a number and wait. It's not our place to take away from our own and put it in the mouths of everybody else. It's not our place to hold American citizens or Texans to the letter of the law and then allow lawlessness from them. It's not. I couldn't walk around here committing a misdemeanor all day long and get away with it. They'll pick my ass up and take me to jail. Why are we making an exception for anybody? There are no exceptions made for me. I could turn this show into a whole lot more, but I'm not going to. I really want to focus on Texas. And I want to question our government as to why they're allowing the federal government, who's shrinking the military on purpose, to take any of my state guard when I'm being invaded like this and sending them overseas. I want an answer to that shit. That's my state guard. They're taking the Texas State Guard and sending them overseas. I'm going to read you an article that really fired me up and got me onto this. Texas military. Texas Signal Guardsmen prepare for deployment. This was written by Master Sergeant Daniel Grigo, and it was posted July the 2nd of 2015. Soldiers with the Texas National Guard 136th Expeditionary Signal Battalion conduct pre-mobilization training June 29th at Camp Swift in Bastrop, Texas. This training, which includes weapons, familiarization, chemical training, land navigation, and other basic warrior skills, is in preparation for the unit's upcoming deployment to Kuwait and surrounding areas. The Houston-based outfit, part of Joint Task Force 136 Maneuver Enhancement Brigade, trained from June 22nd through July 11th at Camp Swift before conducting its farewell ceremony in Houston. I have a problem here, people. Got National Guard, we got 4 branches military that are being destroyed. They're reducing the troops, and they're now taking our state guard, and we are the state that's in the most danger now because of this foreign invasion. We have the largest border. We've got more of them here. They're coming through our border. Who the hell is going to defend Texas when this shit hits the fan? Why is the federal government commissioning our state guard, and why is our governor allowing it to send them to Kuwait? You have to ask that question, don't you? Because that is so not protocol. No. Your state guard is to defend and protect your state. Not to send overseas and leave your state vulnerable. And by the direction of the DHS, the Muslim Brotherhood, by the way, and the federal government, the Muslim Brotherhood, by the way, and the usurping piece of shit, flea tick, Muslim Brotherhood, by the way. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Obama, you piece of sack of shit. They can never come in and be intrusive and take your state guard without your governor's approval. So, Governor Abbott, we have to ask you, just what the hell do you think you're doing? We've got a border wide open. They're murdering, raping, robbing, taking the prosperity away, bringing in disease, prostitution, human trafficking, you name it, they're doing it, pedophilia. What are you thinking, buddy? What the hell are you thinking, Governor Abbott? Have you lost your friggin' mind? Because nothing says that you're on board with the tyranny like that, or the espionage. Who do you think you are, allowing our state guard to be trained and sent to Kuwait? Who's going to defend me? Who's going to defend us? It's not going to be our militia groups, because we got a bunch of narcissistic egomaniacs who couldn't follow direction if you drew a map on their friggin' forehead and gave them a mirror. They're so scattered and egotistical, it's pathetic. They will not work together. They have their own little units and their own, their testicles swell up, their chest puffs up, They can't work together. So who the hell are we going to call on when shit hits the fan, buddy? And you know as well as I do, we're at that point. We've got to save Texas, people. Any Texans that are listening to this show out there, hell, anybody that's listening to it, somebody in Texas, get this show in their hands and let them hear about me ranting. Just go, my God, this woman, she just went off and she ranted, and oh my God, and she was cussing, and please, get it to them. I want the people to know the truth. Number one, the border is still wide open. Number two, it's a lie. We didn't have a bunch of unaccompanied minors. The ones that were brought over here, some of them were kidnapped, and Obama was the reason they were, and we got people who are trying to sue to get their kids back, and we don't even know where the hell they are. The Catholic Church needs to be shut down in America if you're going to continue to work for the government and make literally billions of dollars off of human trafficking, which is what you're doing. Catholic Charities taking these kids in, dispersing them, and then paying the families buku bucks that take these kids. You need to stop, you evil bastards. Those kids don't belong to you. They have a mother, they have a father, and they need to be sent back to their mother and father. Now, right here in Texas, we do have an issue. We've got a problem. Okay, the border's open. Governor Abbott's allowing the federal government to commission our state guard and send them to Kuwait. Not good. Can't tell me it's to condition them for battle here, because it's two different terrains, two totally different environments, and they don't need to go overseas to get their training. Send them into a war field. I'd be curious to know any other states out there that might have their state guards being commissioned to go overseas while Obama's having military personnel in our four branches of military cut and shredded down to nothing. Released if you have a cross on, released if you have a Bible, or they catch you talking about Christ or God, or, just getting rid of people who took the litmus test and they don't want to fire on the American citizens, and, removing all the good leadership. Now the DOD and the Pentagon is being controlled by a bunch of whack-a-moles. People, you better ask yourself a question, what the hell is he up to? The floodgates open. I know I'm outnumbered in my city at least 250 to 1. That's how many friggin' Muslims and wetbacks and Afrikaans are here. Not black Americans, because I don't call you African Americans. You're American, period. That'd be like me calling myself Indian American, just because I'm a quarter Indian. I'm outnumbered in my own city, and I saw this change come in the past 18 months. While O'Reilly and some of these other asshats are spewing lies to you and telling you that was sealed up 18 months ago. He's a lying son of a bitch. And I'd like to call him on it, but he's a coward. He would never bring me on his show. Hey, O'Reilly, if you get this, if somebody can get this in his hands, you lying sack of shit, pull me on your show and spew your lies to me, because I will chew you up and spit you out with documented proof that you're a liar. And your ass ought to be fired. You shouldn't be up there sitting on national network running your puke hole like that and lying to the American people. You're giving a false sense of security, and it's costing people their lives. You're helping them stay in a mode of complacency, and you need to shut up. You need to shut up. My opinion, you need to be flogged, dragged behind a truck and flogged. That's my opinion. It's your problem, buddy. You're a liar and your problem. And the things that you're lying about are the detriment of people that they fall into that bullshit and believe what you're saying and don't fight back to stop what's going on. All right. So we've got the murders, another murder. We've got open borders. We've got a usurper in Washington. We've got an illegal Congress acting as Congress. We've got state governors who are on board with the bullshit. We've got our state guard now in Texas being shipped out. So what are you going to do, Texas? We've got to demand. See, here's how law is supposed to work. Government. They work for you. They have to listen to you. We've been so bent backwards that we've allowed them to dictate over us. It's not how it works. We're not supposed to be submissive to them. They're supposed to be submissive to our cries. So here's the deal. How many Texans have enough balls to either march into Austin or to make an effort to get before the legislators in an open meeting, demand a meeting, a public meeting, a very public meeting? I'm going to put you to the challenge. Get up off your asses and do something, because we're sinking fast, buddy. And there is nobody coming to save us but us. So anybody out there in Texas, you get this Spreaker show. The delivery didn't taste very good, I know. I used some foul language, but I spoke the truth. And I may have jumped around, but I got back on track, and this is this. We need to secede Texas. We need to hold Abbott accountable for releasing troops to go overseas. We want that border secured, and we don't want DHS and federal thugs up there in the District of Columbia to have any part or play in the sealing of that border, because quite frankly, according to our documents, we have every right as a sovereign nation and a sovereign state, Texas, to secure that border. It's our responsibility and it's our duty to do so. So this is Becky Williams. I've been with you tonight. This is my third show today. And I'm going to let you go at this point. I've rambled for about 50 minutes or so, and it's time for me to go. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. I've got another show tomorrow. You can catch me on a little better language, a little better attitude. You'll catch me on tomorrow at Blog Talk Radio, Rage Against the Regime podcast. My guest tomorrow is Jack Sin. He's coming to us live from London, England, and he is an advocate fighting against fighting against the white genocide in South Africa, which is very real, by the way, and that is a parallel thing that we're now seeing come to fruition in America. Exactly the same way the government empowered and emboldened its black community to kill off whitey is what we're seeing in America right now. And that should not be acceptable to you. So until tomorrow at 4 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio, this has been your host, Becky Williams, with Rage Against the Regime podcast. Thank you for listening in. Please share it with your friends.